All right, you guys want to welcome everybody to the Sunday night training call. We are super excited to have Kathleen OBrien join us tonight to do the training. Kathleen is unbelievable. She has way more network marketing experience than I have, and I will turn it right over to her so that we don't lose any time learning some amazing nuggets from Kathleen. So Kathleen, it's all yours.
All right. Well, Shawn, thank you very much. First of all, thank you for inviting me on this call. Thank you for having this medium. I'll tell you what, the most anxious part about this whole evening for me was the technology. So I'm glad you're here as backup. That's absolutely wonderful. But I've been invited on the call tonight to speak to the story. And you know, the story, I think, is one of the most important components that we have to offer not only our team members, but our prospects and anybody that we're surrounded by. You know, there's a guy out there by the name of Dr. Alan Kay. He's a computer scientist and he's a guru. And he actually said one time that when you scratch the surface in a typical boardroom, we're all just cavemen with briefcases hungry for a wise person to tell us stories. And that's really all we do. We tell stories, we share who we are, we do it from the heart, and we do it with integrity. And my story is actually very simple. I was introduced to Lifevantage. Oh my gosh, it's going on close to 7 years now. It was in July of 2010. I wasn't in a very good place, quite frankly. I was in a situation where a 28-year marriage had ended, and it ended very abruptly and very, let's just say, with a lot of action. And I ended up basically finding my way to a duplex with an air mattress and a suitcase full of mixed matched clothing. And that's kind of where I was when Lifevantage found its way to me. And it happened very simply. And it was just as the blueprint teaches. It was a quick phone call to me. And what was said to me was, you know what, you really need to take a look at this video. I respect you as a businesswoman. I really want to see what you like about this. And it was as simple as that. I watched the video and I called back immediately. I was one of the very few people that called back and asked a couple of compensation questions because I was extremely familiar with the world of network marketing and wanted to know if those questions could be answered with a yes. Both of those were. And then my last question to her, which by the way was Pro9 Sherry Gillespie, she asked me, I asked her, so does this product work? And she said, absolutely it does. Now, I respected and trusted her because she has a master's in nutrition, and it was as simple as that. I needed to pay the rent, guys. That's my story. I had just a few days to come up with about $850 that I had to put down or I was going to be let go from this duplex. So it was as simple as following the blueprint, making the phone calls, and not just doing 15 in a month. It was typically doing 15 in a day. Obviously, I did have the time to do that because I was in the market looking for something to do, whatever it was to bring some income coming in. And what has happened to me since then has just been God-given. It's been an absolute wonder. I have developed a wonderful residual income over the years that has allowed me the opportunity essentially to be financially free. I'm now debt-free. I was able to purchase a home for my daughter, actually. I moved from Virginia to Indiana, and I was here to be background support for her for a couple of years. And I was smart enough to rent another home 3 miles away. We didn't live together, but we did have an opportunity to mix, and I got to know my granddaughter, and now going on our third grandchild now in these intervening 2 years. But for me, also, one of the most wonderful points to this is I have been able to find someone to love after 7 long years. And so it's been a whirlwind of activity. And what I love to tell people now is that Lifevantage has given me the opportunity through residual income to have the time to fall in love. So that's my story. And that's what I share every single time when I'm talking on a 3-way interaction or if I'm doing meetings. I keep it short, sweet, and simple. Now, what I just followed was a basic format. And that format for you new distributors can be found in your blueprint. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to just take the next few minutes and let's go through that blueprint and let's talk about what that format looks like. First of all, what did I do? I shared with you what came before. So that's number one. What did I do before? I was not in a very good situation. For many of you, you're going to be in different opportunities. Maybe some of you are working careers that you don't necessarily like, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom that just wants to get out a few nights a week or a month. Whatever that story is, you need to lock into that, because that story is what brought you to your next. And that is, how did you find out, or what did you not like about where you were at that point? So for me, for instance, I was in a position of needing money. What is it for you? Are you someone who just wants to get out and socialize a little more? Do you want to make a complete career shift? Your story is your story, and it's important that you dig in deep and figure out why are you on this webinar tonight? Why did you invest in yourself? Why did you reach out and want to be a part of Lifevantage? Very, very important. Now, how did you discover Lifevantage? What part of that resonates for you? For me, it was a phone call. For me, I was blessed to be able to have a sponsor who actually did it right. She followed the blueprint to a T. That's our Sherry. She's what I call my I-daughter T-crosser friend. I'm the big picture visionary. She's the one that comes in with the detail. And I just love her for that, because she just knows how to keep it straight and clean and simple. And that's what she did. She offered me the opportunity with a quick phone call, the opportunity to watch the ABC video, and then she listened. And that's as simple as it was. And I eventually made the decision to come on board. I frankly didn't have a lot of money, but I knew that this was something. I could see it as a business person. I personally had been involved up to that point 21 years in the network marketing industry. I had worked with various compensation plans. I had also worked on the corporate side as a corporate trainer. So when Lifevantage came my way, I saw it for what it was. I saw the product. As a matter of fact, guys, I just recently moved in with Jeffrey. He and I are together, and look at what I found. Can you believe this? This is an unopened bottle of Protandim, and that's what Protandim used to look like 7 years ago. And that was all we had at the time. For $40 a month, we were building elite-sized businesses. And then eventually, of course, the True Science Cream came along. But it was really exciting when I found that. So what has happened since? That's number 4. So just to kind of recap, what did you do before? Before Lifevantage came your way, what did it look like for you? What didn't you like about what you were living in or living through at the time? Because obviously that kind of encouraged or pushed you to make a decision to join Lifevantage. And then how did you find out about Lifevantage? What is your personal story there? And then from there, what has happened since? Now, some of you may be really new to Lifevantage, and maybe that part of your story is just being organized and you're starting to build it. And that's okay. That's where you can kind of back up, and perhaps with your sponsor, you can tap into some other people's stories. So that would look similar to, I discovered Lifevantage through my sponsor, and here's what I'm finding. These are some friends that I'm being introduced to. These are sponsors and supports that I have out there within the world of Lifevantage that are giving me what I need, the skills, the tools, the ability to be able to bounce ideas and thoughts off of them, and look at how successful they are. I want to be like that. So that can be your story as it grows within Lifevantage. So that's the essence of building a story, guys. It's about you. It's about your authenticity. It's not about a script. It's about following a basic format and speaking from the heart and being real. And I've been able to achieve and accomplish things, quite frankly, within these 28 years that have just been absolutely remarkable for me. And I'm very, very excited about that. And here's what I'm here to tell you. It can happen for you too. This is all very, very real. And it's about putting one step in front of the other It's about getting out there. It's about sharing your story. It's about being honest, open, and authentic. And it's about following this basic format within the blueprint. So if you're brand new, I really want to encourage you, if you haven't done already, I'm assuming because you're on this call, you're one of the people that are a few steps ahead of the game, but get your blueprint out, follow it to a T, get on these Sunday night calls, stay plugged in, and we'll talk a little bit about upcoming events. But in the meantime, what I'd love to do is I'd love to introduce you to someone else. And Nikki, are you out there before I tee you up? Nikki Elsing? Okay, Shawn, I don't know. Do you see Nikki on?
I did just see her. I'm trying to unmute her.
Okay.
Give me just 1 second. Unmute audio. It is not liking that. Her, I know she's having issues with her video a second ago. There she is. Let's see. Hey, Nikki, I'm going to remute. Okay, Nikki, you good?
Can you guys hear me?
We can. Yep.
Yay!
So,
I am struggling with Zoom tonight, but yes, Kathleen, I'm here.
Did I lose Kathleen now? Kathleen, are you there still?
Here. Oh,
Okay,
I'm here.
perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. Okay. So we
Okay.
should all be good.
Okay. Well, Nikki, I just want to tell you, it was really a pleasure to chat with you. You're a very, very busy woman. You have a lot of energy in your voice, and I can't wait to meet you in person when we show up together in April at the Global Convention. But Nikki is or was a dietitian. She's currently in her 6th year in Lifevantage. She's a Pro 7 with Lifevantage. So congratulations, girlfriend. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
She has a couple of kids. She's from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. She has an 11-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter, and she has been up, guys, since 5:30 a.m. this morning, making sure that she's a good mom and being there for them and supporting them as well. So, Nikki, if you don't mind, I'd love for you to take it away. I understand you're going to talk a little bit about the cleanse, and you've got a couple of little secrets for us.
Nikki, you got muted again. I'm not sure how you did that. Just 1 second, okay? Hey, Nikki, can you click unmute? Nope, we don't have you.
Oh, shoot.
Here. Oh.
No, that's Kathleen. Nikki, where did you go now? I lost her completely. Okay. Nikki, you should be unmuted.
Hey.
Yep. All right. I'll work on getting your video up, but go ahead and start.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Kathleen, so much. It was great talking to you earlier.
You're muted again, Nikki. All right, we might have to go to plan B here, you guys. I'll try one more time with Nikki. If not, hey, Nikki. All right.
Oh, shoot.
Kathleen, I'm going to ask you a quick question while we get Nikki going.
Sure.
You have lots of network marketing experience. This is not your first rodeo. Tell us why you think Lifevantage is so different.
The very first word that comes to mind, Shawn, is culture. I just feel such a difference with this company. everyone is really, truly supportive. I hear it a lot, or I heard it a lot in the other companies. I was with 5 other companies, believe it or not. And with each of those companies, I spent about 5 years. And there was one particular company, listen to the rules here. I was a leader, a manager in Virginia, and I was not allowed to advertise or attend any other leaders' meetings. They did that intentionally. Now, the reasons behind it, I don't know. I wasn't corporate, but it created a sense of competition, and maybe that's sort of what they wanted, but it didn't create friendliness. It didn't create a sense of esprit de corps where we all came together and lifted one another up. That for me is supremely important. And then, of course, the second thing without fail is the support of the science and the product. This is an absolutely remarkable, remarkable product. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, I'm probably one of the pro 8s that couldn't really go into it too much. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can see this. Do you see that, Shawn?
I do.
That's a slice of an apple. It's an apple slice, and that's all I carry around with me. I sliced up an apple, so when people ask me, how does this work and what is this all about, I pull this out of my purse and I say, do you know what that is? That's a dehydrated apple. Why did it become dehydrated? Well, it's because of the oxidative stress that occurred. And that's how simple it is. And that's what we do inside our bodies. We help prevent that from happening. I don't go too deeply into the science because I know I'm supported by the science. I don't have to validate it. I can, if someone wants to do their homework, I send them to the homework pieces. So the science is a second component to this business that I think is remarkable. The third thing, and honestly, this was 7 years ago, the very first thing for me was the compensation plan. And those 2 compensation questions that I asked, very simple questions. Number 1, does this compensation have the word infinity in it? And Sherry said, yes, it does. And the second one was, does this compensation have the word compression in it? And she said, yes, it does. And I said, okay, I think I can get my rent paid. And I was off and running and didn't ask any other questions than that. If you had seen my first few presentations, you would have thought I was an idiot because all I knew how to do was tell my personal story. And when people started asking questions, I literally said, I have no idea. Let's go look at the website.
I love it.
It was that simple.
But that's how it's supposed to work, right?
Exactly. If we can just maintain simplicity, it is that simple. Yes.
Perfect. Well, I think Nikki joined on Joanne Shear's login. So we have you, Nikki.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me now?
Perfect. We can.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll just jump right in. Kathleen, thank you so much. It was great talking to you earlier. Sorry about this, you guys, this technology. And the funny thing is my old computer's working and my new computer's not. So I'm sitting here with 2 of them side by side, trying desperately to see everybody, but you saw me for a second. But yes, I'm super excited to talk about the physique cleanse. I have been up forever today because I have this business that doesn't make me get up early in the morning. And today I got up early in the morning and I'm not used to it. And it's crazy. So for all of you still getting up very early, God bless you, because it's just not easy to do once I've been out of it a while. Like Kathleen had mentioned, I'm a nutritionist and dietitian. I was in preventive care for a very long time and also had the opportunity to work in sick care, I think is the way I think of it, where people were coming into me to see me, but also coming in the sense of working within a gastroenterology office. And that was a huge way for me to realize all the things that can go wrong. You know, when you learn all about people having such significant gut and belly issues, you see how fortunate we are to actually have things go in and come out. And that's kind of a weird way to say it, but it's so true because so many people have problems in that aspect. And we really, really need to remember that we have to make sure that having a healthy gut is the essential thing to being able to have a really good brain-gut communication, if that makes sense. Oftentimes, if we've got a lot of stuff going on up here, our belly's not working as well as it could. If we have some belly things going on, our brain's not working as well as it should. So it's just this fine balance. And one of the things that caught me as huge when we looked at adding this physique was the fact that we focus on a healthy belly and healthy gut, because that is so important. There are people, and this is kind of on a side note, but with weight management, there are people that have never ever felt full because their belly just doesn't work the way it's supposed to and doesn't have that communication that's essential. And I'm hearing from people when they're on the physique product, they feel full. Oh my gosh. And their cravings are better because see all this communication that's happening. But we need that. And so many people would come in to see me with, guess what? Constipation. And so this is something that we can really help people with the cleanse. Remember, this is important to keep in mind that ours is the best. There are a lot of things out there, you guys, and some of them are not mild. Some of them are harsh and they're problematic. And I know that when we're talking with Natalie and Dr. Fifi, where she talked a lot about making sure that she wanted it to be a mild cleanse, nothing that's irritating, that's going to cause more damage while it's trying to clean it out. Some of you, if you ever had a colonoscopy, some of those cleanse types of things that they do, there's different ones they can pick. Some of them are very harsh and abrasive and some of them aren't so much. And so, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Not that I'm comparing this to the stuff you use in a colonoscopy, but I'm just giving it as a description. But some of you may not know that one of the big parts of our cleanse is that it's supporting this digestive system and it's supporting our body's ability to get rid of toxins and to clean itself out. And also, not only is it working to clean this stuff out, but it's working on nourishing all of the things that are involved in removing toxins and removing either urine or feces. So when we look at it, it's nourishing the kidneys, the liver, your urinary tract, and also that intestinal tract. And so not only is it improving how things are moving through, but it's giving that the essential things that it needs to be able to absorb minerals, to be able to get those vitamins and minerals and things in that we need. So let's talk about the ingredients that we have in here. Remember, we have all natural ingredients in there. But one little thing I want you to remember is even though it's a mild cleanse, this is something that people that have irritable bowel, like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, they shouldn't be using this. They have so many different criteria and things that they have to be careful with that we're just not recommending it to be consumed by those people. And that's a general statement made by Lifevantage. Same thing like appendicitis, if they're pregnant or nursing, if they're children. This is a product for adults and not for pregnant or nursing women and not for the ulcerative colitis or Crohn's or irritable bowel. Some people have irritable bowel where they're like, well, sometimes I'm constipated and sometimes I'm not. Well, we're not worried about those people so much. It's the one that have those active, really, really big fires going on in their belly. So when we look at the different products that are in here, we have that buckthorn bark and that Chinese rhubarb root. And those are both very mild laxatives. So it's going to be able to stimulate that natural movement of things going through our intestinal tract. A lot of times people call it peristalsis, but it's just basically those contractions in the stomach that are supposed to be going. And some of us, for some reason, just don't get that stuff moving. And guys, it's super important, and not to be gross, but think about it. If you have the good stuff that you're taking away from your food, and that's getting absorbed all over in your body, and then you have the stuff that's not absorbed, that's what you're supposed to be getting rid of and eliminating, right? Well, if these people are constipated and that's sitting in there and it just keeps sitting in there and reabsorbing and just ick, I mean, it's just a battle that's not good. So it's something that we want to make sure that people work on getting that movement through. We also have ginger root in our cleanse, and that's important. A lot of you know ginger. Think about ginger and you think about it as soothing the belly and decreasing inflammation. It's just kind of a nice, I don't even know how to even say it better than soothe. I think soothe is a really perfect word where it's helping to soothe that belly. It's nice that we have it with the laxative component in there. But even if we didn't, because sometimes the laxative can cause a little irritation just in general, but even if we didn't, most of us walk around with a little inflamed belly anyway. And so it's just a nice addition for us. And it's kind of calming and soothing is what I want you to think about that ginger. Then as we move on to like the dandelion root and that uva ursae, when we're looking at those two, those are things that are looking at being able to act as a diuretic or making you have to urinate more and having that healthy bladder. The dandelion root specifically is supporting that liver, kidney, gallbladder. And that gallbladder is what's pushing out bile to help us get that food digested and all of that. And so that's really good when we can have something that can increase that bile flow to help with digestion. And it's also going to be a mild diuretic as well. So you'll know, but most of us will either notice more urine, or you're in the bathroom a lot more with more excrement and waste, because as it's moving through, you're going to have stuff that's sitting there. It's just helping to be able to eliminate that. I don't know if you'll notice it as much if you're a regular cleanser. I use mine once a month, and I guess I don't really pay that close of attention. Some of you maybe do more than I. But I would think that we'd have more of a volume change initially when they're first starting to use it than they would if they're doing it every month, because our hope, is that adopting a healthier lifestyle is going to continue to move that. And as you're using the other physique products and the other Lifevantage products as well. So some people say, well, I'm not going to the bathroom more, it's not working. Yes, it is, because when you look at it, you have all of these great things it's doing. So just because you're not pooping more doesn't necessarily mean it's not working, but hopefully you're doing that as well. And everybody's a little bit different, keep in mind, and everybody has a different situation. And so just kind of keeping in mind what your regularity usually is. Now, another cool thing that we have in our cleanse are these fructooligosaccharides. So that's a huge word, abbreviated FOS, okay, because that's what you're looking at. And that's food for those good probiotics that you're going to be taking too. Awesome, right? So these are prebiotics that act to their little fibers that work to be able to feed those good bacteria. And remember, we only have so many parking spots in our belly or our gut. And as it's going in, sometimes those bad bacteria take up a lot of those parking spots, and that's not good. We want the parking spots to be taken over by that good bacteria. And we want to be really nice to them so they stick around. So when you go ahead and feed them nicely with this fructooligosaccharides that are going to be in this cleanse, that's really nice. And we don't market it as a big prebiotic, like as a standard prebiotic, but it's in there, and it's nice to be able to throw at those good bacteria that you're getting from your probiotic that you're taking as well. So lots of good stuff with that. So how do you take it? Remember that people, when they're starting new, it's always a good idea to have them do the cleanse first for that first week. And what they do is they take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. Super simple. They do that for 7 days, and then they go ahead and get started on the physique products. And one of the things is, I'm probably a little overcautious on this, but I don't like it when everybody starts everything all at once. That bugs me, because if they say something's goofy, I can't figure out what's goofy because they started everything. And so it's kind of nice to say, okay, when you start your cleanse, do that for a week, and then I want you to start your probiotic. And then the next day or the next couple days, I want you to start using the protein shake. And then, you know what I mean? So we can identify what's going on a little bit more. And then put it in your calendar. I saw Michelle the other day had it, first of the month, I'm doing my cleanse. That's perfect. Or whatever it is, that's your time that you want to do it. So you don't forget about it. But I'll tell you, I like to do that around when we go to elite academies and convention, because we're eating different. We're not on a regular schedule, and we need to make sure that we have that to kind of help move things along, if you get my drift. Other things to keep in mind when you're looking at diet-wise, and then I'll wrap up here. We don't have a specific diet that we say, but when you're looking at this cleanse, you're looking at lifestyle changes and you're working on modifying behaviors. And so a good idea is to make sure and limit caffeine, limit your alcohol, processed foods, eat at home more, eat less things in a box, more fresh foods, more fruits and vegetables, and just trying to eat clean. It's a good opportunity to clean out those cupboards and start getting rid of the junky stuff and really starting to focus more on your health. And of course, consuming extra fluids, water in general, to help be able to flush that urinary tract system and everything else out. Haha, that's a funny joke. Flush, we're talking poop, we're talking cleanse. I think that's funny. I just didn't even plan on that, but that's cute. So that's all I have, you guys, Physique Cleanse. And I think it's crazy that it's $15. That's nuts. It's so good for you and so cheap. Do not forget about it. So thanks, Kathleen, so much. Thanks, Shawn. And sorry about the trouble with the camera. I appreciate all your help.
All right, Kathleen, any closing thoughts on your end?
Nikki is amazing. Thank you, Nikki. I've got a whole couple of pages of notes here, learning a lot more about that. I definitely am going to, I've done the cleanse once. I'm definitely going to get started on that again. So that was pretty exciting. One of the things I do want to just sort of reiterate is staying connected and plugged in. And congratulations to all of you who have made the decision tonight to do just that. At the same time, please remember that consistency is everything. And we do have trainings that we do typically every month. And on March 18th, we have Lifevantage Academy coming up. So if you haven't already registered, please go to bigbluecalendar.com. That's bigbluecalendar.com. Get yourself signed up. I think it's $25 for advance, or you pay $35 at the door. But it really helps them a lot if they know who's coming, how many people. We need to keep those numbers going. So get yourself plugged in. And while you're at it, go ahead and buy an extra ticket and commit to bringing a guest. What a wonderful opportunity to expose them to what we call third-party validation. The other thing that, if you haven't already done it, get yourself signed up for our global convention. You can go to the Lifevantage website. If you don't know where else to go, click on the convention. It's April 19th through the 22nd, which is a Wednesday through a Saturday. It's going to be held in Salt Lake City. Get yourself there. I know that there are a number of elite distributors on this webinar right now, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to find any of them who has missed any elite academy. I know in my almost 7 years, I haven't missed a single one. And here we are living the residual lifestyle to be able to show that. So we want you there too. You deserve it. So work on your story and get going. Take care. And thanks, Shawn. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Nikki.
Awesome webinar. Love that you jumped on to give us your expertise. And Nikki, fabulous job on the cleanse as well. She is our direct upline. She brought us into the business. I call her my work mommy. She is unbelievable in the science and knowledge about these products. So thanks again, Kathleen. We'll get the recording out as soon as it is downloaded into the clouds, and we will pass that out. So look for that. If your team wasn't on, make sure they watch the replay. Have a great week, a great March, and we can't wait to see everybody in April at convention. Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.